Hey, good morning, folks. I am stoked because we've started up again Troy's Morning Coffee Reflections. And I know it's a little late in the day. For some places, it's probably noontime. For others, it's around 10 a.m. But it was a busy day. I had a lot of stuff going on, already up, did the first morning radio show. And before we get started, one of the things that people ask all the time is, Troy, how do you guys make money? Well, we have sponsors. Right now, it's Buzz Coffee out of Longmont, Colorado. I want to thank Tom and Denise Chenault. They actually sent me some. I don't have a cup. I'm using my old Starbucks cup. But I tell you what, this stuff is great. It's the Fair Trade Organic Blend. And if you've not used their coffee, if you have, you go to buzzcoffee.com and you can order this stuff. But it's phenomenal. And the thing is, they do it right. They make sure that the people that are harvesting those beans are paid accurately. They have good living conditions, and that's what I love about it. Well, let's get into here today. We're talking, this is our first, yesterday was the introduction. Today is literally the first chapter, the attentiveness. See, if you want to be a revolutionary communicator, there's 7 principles that you have to learn. And the first one is attentiveness. It's not about you just talking. Yesterday I was having some conversations on Facebook, and it amazed me how inwardly focused some people can be. It's all about them. Know how you're doing, know what's going on in your life, none of that. All they want to do is me, me, me. Folks, that's not what it takes to be a revolutionary communicator. You can be a motivational speaker that way, you can run a cult that way, but you're not going to change lives long term by inward focused. You have to be attentive to what's going on. And if you go out and get the book, this is the book that we're actually using for this series, The Revolutionary Communicator. One of the things that you're going to notice, and I just love the way these guys write, but listen to this for a second. Mother Teresa states this: as far as I'm concerned, the greatest suffering is to feel alone, unwanted, unloved. The greatest suffering is also having no one, forgetting what an intimate, truly human relationship is. There's a lot of people that you're going to communicate with. If you're trying to learn to be a public speaker, if you've got a team that you're growing, if you're getting into speech writing, I don't care what it is. There's things that you have to learn, and how to connect with the soul of a person is what it's all about. John Maxwell calls it the law of connection, and I agree with him. You have to be able to connect with people. See, the real need is not to be heard, it's to feel loved. And communicators, true strong communicators, people like Ronald Reagan, was able to communicate and able to connect at the soul level, not just with politicians, but with the common everyday person. Jesus Christ was that way. Gandhi was that way. When you look at all the great spiritual leaders, they connected at the soul level. Sadly, even some of the worst leaders in history, Adolf Hitler was that way. He connected with a certain group of people. Jim Jones, who led his people to drink the Kool-Aid, connected that way. All of your negative or positive leaders are able to connect, and that's what you've got to do. So to communicate, you really need to do that. Matter of fact, if you ever watch Tony Robbins, not on his infomercials, but actually in a meeting, you will watch how he will literally dig deep to connect with the soul, because he understands that people want to be listened to. And when you listen to them and you connect, it works. Art Williams used to say, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I contract and consult with companies, and their CEOs sometimes don't understand that. They think it's about learning sales techniques or persuasion techniques, and they don't understand that it's a heart level. That's just the way humans are. Matter of fact, here's something that was written in this book, and I find this just phenomenal. The greatest gift that we can give one another is wrap attention to one another's existence. Have you ever wondered why social media has become such a huge deal? It's because people feel like they're connecting with other people. They're looking deep inside their soul. I see things written on Facebook and Twitter and all these places that most people wouldn't share publicly, but yet they get so wrapped up in the conversation they forget that everybody that's a friend of theirs can see what they're writing. It's like running around the house naked and your window's up and you don't realize that there's people still there. That's kind of what this all amounts to. See, what you've got to look at is, what am I here for? What do I want to accomplish? If I'm going to be a communicator, why is attentiveness so important? Do you like people to pay attention to what you're saying? See, when you're in front of a room of one person or 1,000 people, being able to touch their heart means that you're going to have done a little bit of due diligence before you get up to speak. It means that you're going to speak about something that's important and persuasive, important and passionate to you. You're going to speak about something that's important and passionate to the group of people that you're talking to. This is something that most people don't understand. And I think it's important. And as I read through this, I kept thinking, you know, one of the things that I've learned over the years is that it's not about just talking negative about people. You know, you'll hear in marketing and sales that negativism sells. You'll hear people say, you know, any type of publicity is good publicity. I disagree with that. I think overall what people are craving is authenticity, transparency. They want communicators and leaders that they can go to, that they understand, care about them, and who's transparent, who tells them, man, I've made mistakes. See, that's the key beyond everything. If you want people to pay attention, then you pay attention to them. If you are transparent and authentic as a communicator, then they know they can be transparent and authentic with you. And that's when you've connected at that heart level. So many times people want to put on the cliche. They just want to try to do something, and they don't want to connect with the people. They're afraid to connect. We see politicians this way all the time. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote this: "To the attentive eye, each moment of the year has its own beauty, and in the same field it beholds every hour a picture which has never been seen before and which will never be seen again." He could communicate. He was very passionate about what he said. See, I believe wherever you're at in life, no matter where you're at, whether you're just now starting to talk and get in front of people, whether you're just now starting to get maybe a network marketing team going, or maybe you're launching a church, it doesn't matter what it is. You have to be able to ask questions and then listen. See, being attentive is not about... It's not about you talking, it's about listening. I want you to write these down. This is how you're going to be able to become better attentive. Number one, make question asking an art. Always be asking questions. Number two, sacrifice distractions. Look the person directly in the eye and listen. Number three, involve your whole body. When you're talking, move. Connect, touch them if they're a touching type person. You want to make sure that you are very well in tune with the way that they communicate. Number four, confirm your perceptions. Don't just hear them, quote it back to them. Let me make sure I understood this right. This is what you just said, so that they know you are listening. Number five, cultivate attentiveness by taking special note of people on the margins, right on the sides. Check out those people that maybe are on the fringe or they're not coming forward to talk with you. Those are the ones that you want to connect with. You know, the one thing that we can do, and a lot of people are this way these days. It didn't used to be this way, but it doesn't matter what subculture we're dealing with. We're able to connect. Homeless people, the goth community, rich people, it doesn't matter. And it's because we've gone out of our way to be able to understand different subcultures and cultures of people. And number six, learn to see. This is so important. Watch with your eyes. Go through a room. See what the body language is. Study that a little bit. That way you can see who's hurting and who's not, who you need to go and talk with, who you need to listen to. Number seven, express what you observe. That's so important. Don't just talk about it. Don't just think about it. Get out there and let them know you understand. You empathize with where they're at. Folks, being a revolutionary communicator is fun once you're able to start on that journey, and it's a lifelong journey, I'll tell you that. But hey, this is Troy Dooley, MLM Help Desk, Morning Coffee Reflections. We'll see you tomorrow.